All right, guys, we're down here at the Tar River at the Town Commons, and we're about to jump on some kayaks and dive a little deeper into what the Tar River has to offer the economy and the community here in Greenville, as well as take a look at what some developments could mean for businesses.
Yes, my name is Kelsey Curtis. I'm the owner of Knee Deep Adventures. I'm from here in Pitt County, pretty much born and raised. Went to school here, went to ECU, then started my business, so I've been here since day one, about over 30 years now. So I do a lot of guided tours on the river. We do a lot of rentals so that people can come from Greenville or come from out of town, and we make it easy so they can hop in a kayak and go paddle and explore. We've really gotten into pushing the outdoor tourism here in Greenville, so that's been really interesting. But yeah, basically we exist to get as many people on the river as we can at an affordable rate. Holy smokes, wildlife. I have seen everything you can imagine right out here on the river. We're talking deer, fox, raccoons, otters, minks, coyotes. We've got some cool fox squirrels, and then we've got a couple endangered species right here on the river, actually. One of them is basically a giant salamander called a water dog, and the other thing we have here that's endangered is called the Tar River spiny mussel. So those are pretty interesting, and most people haven't heard of those two. So when the water rises, which it does very quickly around here, we definitely see the animals try to migrate and get away from the floodwaters. So you'll see all these animals basically just trying to do everything they can to move to higher ground. So great example is if we were down here right now and the water's coming up, all the animals are going to go to a high ground, which would be up towards like First Street. And during the summertime, we're talking, definitely like snakes and reptiles. Definitely things like we've seen deer swimming through the water trying to get to higher ground. We've even seen like a mom possum and her little babies. Again, just trying to avoid all those floodwaters, get to higher ground because the animals know that it's going to continue to rise. And sometimes I feel like they might move faster than people when it comes to getting away from floodwaters. They've got that innate nature in them to, survival. It's very interesting, especially when the river here rises over 10 feet from what it is on a day like today. It's definitely something that everyone who's from here has seen. We have astronomical flooding when we do get a hurricane or heavy winds. It's not like a lot of other towns where the water can disperse, so they don't have such significant flooding. Here, the water rises and it rises quickly. There's actually not a whole lot of river access points here in the Greenville area, so Town Common is extremely important. Just to have as a park, but also to have as river access, to have just views of the river in general. A lot of times people in Greenville will ask me, where can I get down to the river? Where can I go fishing, or where can I get good photos? And there's not a whole lot of opportunities. Here at the Town Common is definitely one of the most popular areas, so we're hoping to protect and preserve it. This is also a common launch point for the tours that we do. So a lot of times when people haven't seen the river at all, they come to the Town Common and this is their first view of the waterway. So this is kind of like the first impression when we get paddlers and tourists down here to view the river. So it's important that we keep it a nice green space and that we make it look inviting to everyone that's interested in outdoor recreation.
So as Riverkeeper, it's my job to monitor and protect not only the Tar River, but the entire watershed and all of the water resources within it. I work for Sound Rivers. We're an environmental nonprofit that works to ensure everybody has drinkable, fishable, swimmable waters in the Tar, Pamlico, and Neuse River basins. So I'm actually a Greenville resident. I work out of Washington, but I'm on the Tar River pretty often, and because this is where I live, the Tar River in Greenville is often where I'm getting out on the water. Yeah, so we do a lot of our own water quality monitoring. We're just about to enter the summer, and during the summer we have a summer swim guide program. So we're doing weekly bacteria monitoring for E. coli to see if bacteria levels are safe in the water where we know people are recreating. In addition to that, we do routine monitoring for other types of contaminants and pollution that we know negatively impact water quality, things like nutrients, so nitrogen and phosphorus, and different types of bacteria. Yeah, so the Tar River is important not only for recreation, but actually there's a number of different communities up and down the river that actually get their drinking water from the Tar River itself. And it goes through a process of treatment, but this water that we're looking at right now is the drinking water source for a lot of the people in this area.
In the future, I'm really hoping they just kind of leave it as it is. Again, we don't have a ton of park spaces. We don't have a ton of public spaces along the riverside. So the fact that that is kind of endangered at the moment is really worrying a lot of folks. In addition to it changing the scenery and whatnot, we also have to be more concerned about the floodwaters runoff because there's going to be more of a paved surface. And we get a lot of people who enjoy seeing the river undeveloped. And so the fact that the scenery is going to change from the river view is also going to impact us some. But everybody I've talked to, everybody just kind of wants it to stay a green space, to stay a beautiful parkland like we have it. It seems like that's kind of been the plan of the town common, like since I was a little kid. So it would be really unfortunate to see all that change, especially it seems to me like it's a lot of developers pushing this and not so much the members of the public and the citizens. Everyone I've talked to is not happy about the possible developments down here at the town commons. And the only people that I've found that are supporting it are local politicians and basically like general stakeholders that are in this area, trying to make it become something that it's not. We don't need to be the next Wilmington. We just need to be the best Greenville that we can be. So customers can expect to see the wild side of Greenville. We're taking them on the river just across that first bend. It's almost like you're suddenly in the middle of nowhere. So we love taking people out so that they can see the birds, so they can float the calm river, so that they can see all these areas that you cannot see by foot or you cannot see from the city, period. It's great because we can get them out there in the middle of nowhere in nature. They can see all these really cool animals that they don't normally get to see. We've got a great population of fish. So a lot of times we'll take people out fishing, take them out swimming. There's a lot of really good assets to this river, and we love sharing it with people.